Welcome everybody to Service Drive Revolution, where we are starting a revolution in our industry from the inside out. No longer is service forgotten about, the guys in the back that nobody talks to. Service is now sexy and the most important department in your whole business. And so we are going from service advisors that are order takers to service advisors that are customer collectors. We're going from service managers who come in every day, grab the cat by the tail, get tossed around, thrown everywhere, to service managers that are in control of their departments, know how to get results, are leaders of men and women, and are coaching their kids' basketball teams or soccer teams or football teams, having a quality of life, being a better spouse, being a better friend because you're not so stressed out and you actually have some time to have a hobby maybe.
Absolutely.
Have a hobby.
There is life outside of the service drive, right?
Spouses are thanking us everywhere for taking beat up service managers that are all stressed out and making them happy, giving them peace, work-life balance to some degree.
Work-life balance is very important. Absolutely.
So welcome to the big show, you guys. I just got back from a coaching meeting. This is my trusty sidekick here, Jeremy O'Neill, the one and only. He brought props today that we're going to talk about.
Absolutely.
We have a couple things we're going to go over today. We're going to talk about the comp winners for last month. I know it's a little bit late, but we're going to go over those, and we're going to talk about a subject that is near and dear and very relevant to our industry right now. 5 easy ways for your service managers to build customer service skills. 5 easy ways for your service managers to build customer service skills. But first, let's talk about your trip. You went to SEMA and
Daytona International Speedway.
Daytona. You did a class or workshop there?
Yeah, we did a class on an all-day Saturday class, the 4 pillars of service advisor success. Had about 200 shops in attendance at the Speedway. So it was an eventful week. Got to take my 12-year-old son Landon with me. First time he's traveled with me on business. And if you haven't done that, I encourage you to take your kids with you on a business trip because you really, flush out their character and
what do you mean flush out their character?
Well, if they just like to watch YouTube all the time or anything else, or if they're actually going to help you work, carry the bags, or, hey, Dad.
Did you make him work?
Of course I made him work.
What did you make him do?
Well, I made him drive the rental car.
He's too young to drive the rental car.
Well, not in an abandoned parking lot. I mean, this is not
public,
right?
You showed me a picture. He did his first donut.
Oh, that was so much fun. Absolutely. Yes.
And he's 12?
He's 12, yeah.
Yeah. See, I wasn't doing my first donut when I was 12, but...
Well, those of us up on the high desert.
Bad parenting, I guess.
Well, it's just opportunities, right? We drive at
How do we go from
11?
we make him work to we're letting him drive like a crazy man?
Well, no, it is work. You see, he's got his career path laid out for him. He wants.
You can't even say that with a straight face.
It is.
For all of you watching this and not listening, you can't even say that with a straight face.
All right, let me try that again. It is work. You see, he has his career path laid out. He wants to be a race car driver, so we're practicing early. It's totally fine and legal.
How did the advisor training go?
Advisor training went really well. If you've never been to Daytona International Speedway, I highly recommend that you go. It's a fabulous setting. We actually rented out some suites there with the Automotive Service Association of Florida. They did their inaugural event, and it was a huge success. They had a lot of shops, over 200 registrations came in, and it was a great event. Technical training, management training. It was just an awesome day. And then on Sunday, we got to tour the track as well, so it was really neat. So,
yeah, from the pictures you showed me, maybe we can put some of those up.
Absolutely.
When we put this up on YouTube.
And don't forget about SEMA. SEMA was awesome.
Yeah, did you see anything cool?
There's always, SEMA is just amazing. For me, it's the networking. I love to network with a lot of the industry professionals there, and also a lot of shop owners and service advisors as well. And we did a role play with Carm Capriato on Thursday morning at 7 a.m. So that's coming up. So it's going to tie into what we're talking about.
Who's Carm Capriato?
You don't know who Carm Capriato is?
I do not.
Well, he does a podcast called Remarkable Results Radio in the aftermarket world. So for independent repair shops.
Remarkable results?
Remarkable results.
How does he quantify that?
Should we call him and ask him?
Have you got remarkable results from him?
I always get remarkable results.
But from him?
From him? Well, yeah, listen. His tagline is listen to learn one thing. So
it's kind of vague. It's kind of like remarkable results if you want to go find it yourself.
If you do want to go, but the information is there, right? So
Why don't we change the name of this podcast to like Better Looking Service Managers or something?
no, because this has
Better Looking Advisors.
This has a deeper purpose: service drive revolution, right? Which you got some great topics today. There's a lot of great things we're going to be talking about.
How was the podcast? Like, what'd you guys talk about?
We just riffed right into 3 role plays. It was really
Role plays.
Yeah,
like you dressed up like a teacher and he was the student.
French maid would be more like it, but no. A service
What were
advisor
the role plays?
Skill building. You understand?
Oh,
that?
so he's putting real content on there.
He is. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So what'd you guys role play? What skills?
I did I was a service advisor and I took an incoming lead on a Honda timing belt quote. Customer calling for price on a Honda timing belt.
And somebody was like, ring, and you're like, hello, this is Jeremy.
Well, I don't answer the phone that way. I would say,
what are you wearing? I'm wearing a timing belt.
It's a great day at Freedom Auto Repair. This is Jeremy. How can I help you?
What are you wearing?
Shoes.
No, a timing belt. I thought we were role playing.
Oh, sorry. I'm a little slow today, guys. Forgive me. A timing belt.
What? Did you see any cool cars there?
There's a ton of cool cars there. What the favorite thing, if you've never been to SEMA, is to go and look at the Ford has a paddock with it's open, it's for drifting. They have the trucks out there with a jump. So they do about 3 or 4 times a day.
This drifting thing is really catching on.
It is. It's fun. It's exciting.
I'm gonna have to go watch.
Absolutely. We are gonna have to put you in a car and let you drive.
No, I just want to watch.
Okay, down.
Just voyeurism.
Yep. It's definitely worth it.
You like to? Well, obviously you're teaching a kid to do it.
Yes.
Does he want to be a drifter?
He wants to be a drifter and free ride mountain bike rider downhill.
That's pretty good.
Off-road race truck driver.
I think drifting's less dangerous than the downhill mountain bike, isn't it?
Yeah, the downhill mountain biking thing is absolutely fun.
I've had a couple of friends that spent
though.
a month in the hospital doing that.
Yeah, it's very terrifying, but
broke a shoulder, something.
Snap your spine too, so it's pretty easy there. So yeah, SEMA, there's a ton of cars. If you've never been, it's definitely worth the trip out to Vegas.
But did you see like televisions and rims or like any crazy modifications? Like you hit a button and it transforms into a cigar bar?
What I saw is how technology is just pushing the envelope in the auto industry. And if you go back 3 or 4 years ago to where we're at today, it's changing and the shift is happening. And it's going to happen with consumers as well. So we're seeing the digital sales process. We're seeing AI. We're seeing all these advanced driver assist systems. Everything's coming together to shift this industry in a massive way.
All that's at SEMA?
Oh, it's all there. Oh, yeah.
I thought SEMA was just modified cars.
Well, you have SEMA and then you have Apex right next.
Oh,
so there's 2 shows kind of within one.
And what is Apex?
It is all over at SEMA. Apex is Can we pause? Can I look it up real quick?
No, just if we don't know, we don't know. It's okay.
Apex
it's like, but I know that's like where Mach and BG and like tools and stuff like that go.
Yeah, Apex is the aftermarket show of SEMA. Basically, it's
tools.
Yes, it's tools. It's everything aftermarket. It's the
Racks.
part suppliers. I believe it's put on by the Auto Care Association. So.
And what is it? AMAC?
Apex.
Apex.
AAPEX.
Apex.
Yes, Apex.
Okay, that's fun. I should.
So you're gonna drift next time?
No, not at SEMA.
You're gonna drive.
I don't want to drift really.
You don't? You just want to watch.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't need that. You need that.
Why do I need that?
Because you have like an empty thing in your soul that you're trying to fill constantly with that sort of stuff. With adrenaline, you need adrenaline, like.
Why don't they? Just because people like adrenaline doesn't mean they have an empty spot in their soul.
It's a proven fact that people that are chasing something like that's dangerous and crazy are trying to fulfill something.
Not just the need for speed, just to go
Yeah,
faster.
that's fulfilling something.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you have an empty spot in your soul.
Yeah, it means that you have a hard time just sitting with yourself quietly.
Well, I could do that, but that's boring as hell.
Yeah, you have a hard time sitting with yourself quietly.
I don't. I do not have a hard time sitting with myself quietly. I can do it right now.
Yeah, that makes for a great show. That's what, and most people are listening, they're not watching, so they wouldn't be able to even see.
Well, I didn't know you were so insightful on that side of the...
No, a lot of people compare me to, Jesus.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I don't like that stuff really that much.
Well, so
Well, I appreciate watching those drifting guys, like the guys that like can parallel park without parallel parking.
Right.
Like they're going 70 miles an hour, they hit the e-brake, and all of a sudden they're in a parking spot.
Just like that.
Yeah. Like I think that's amazing, but it's not that takes a lot of practice.
It does. And that's
You know,
definitely
actually,
skill.
you know what it is? It isn't all joking aside and whatever. What it is like I get obsessed with things. So like if I take on a hobby, like I don't like to lose, and so I get obsessed with it. And I don't really have time for that.
Okay.
And so I try really hard to control what things, like for example, poker. Like I've played poker. I don't even know a lot about poker, and I win just about every time I play poker. And a lot of people say like you should go play poker, like in tournaments and stuff. But I would just get obsessed with it, and then I don't have time for the other stuff I'm doing, like working or whatever, right?
The revolution.
Yeah, the revolution. I'm trying to
Absolutely.
start a revolution. So that's why. Like I'd end up in Vegas, and then I wouldn't sleep, and I'd be tired all the time because I'd be up all night playing poker.
Yeah,
and
that wouldn't be good.
I would lose, and then I'd want to win, and then I would watch videos and hire tutors and
Hire a coach.
get crazy. Like for a while, I was trying to get really good at craps, and I literally was going to put a like full size craps table in my warehouse, balanced with a stage, so I was flat, so I could hire somebody and just practice, and they pushed me the dice back because the form, and then
Right.
I just caught myself, and I'm like, forget it, and I stopped playing craps.
It's a better return on your investment of time elsewhere, correct?
I don't know. I've won a lot of money at craps.
Yeah, I'm not good at craps. I'm not good at poker either. So I don't play poker. So that empty spot in my soul, I spend.
You're really not
chasing-
good at it?
No, I'm horrible at poker.
Why?
Because
Because you don't care?
Probably that.
Have you tried to win at poker?
Not really.
No?
No. I mean,
Well, yeah, then it's probably because you
haven't really taken it
could
serious
get
and
good
tried
at
it.
anything you wanted to get good
Well,
at,
you
right?
could, right? But I have enough.
You'd
on my
rather
plate.
drift.
I'd rather drift and go fast on a bike
Yeah.
downhill.
It's good.
Because the soul is fulfilled when you're doing 80
Well,
miles an hour on a mountain bike downhill.
While you were at Daytona.
Yes.
Where is Daytona?
It's in Florida. It's on the east coast of Florida.
We were in Florida?
We were both in Florida at the same time, probably.
Oh.
Yes. We flew into Orlando.
You're a
and
little
drove up
bit
to
further
Daytona.
away, right?
Yeah, we're north.
Wait, I think I've been to Daytona then. Yeah. Okay. Well, while you were in Daytona, I was in Miami. We had our East Coast coaching meeting.
How did that go?
So for the first time, instead of doing a hotel, because when we have these coaching meetings, we usually would get a hotel.
Right.
We'd rent their conference room. You pay like $40 a head for lunch.
Yep.
That's basically a bologna sandwich. That's late. It's like 45 minutes late.
$18 for a cup of coffee.
Yeah. It's
Yep.
like $500 for a gallon of coffee or whatever. That's terrible too. That tastes like
Yep.
7-Eleven coffee basically. And so I was like last time when we did it in Dallas, and like the conference room was a mess. Like nothing worked out. I was so frustrated. And we had our little recap meeting after with the coaches,
Right.
And I was like, man, what if we rethought this whole thing, and instead of using a hotel, we rented a big house, like a big mansion.
Yes. Nice.
And we all stayed in the house. We get it by a hotel, so the coaching group can stay at a hotel, but they can Uber over to the house. Well, instead of doing the hotel food or their catering, we can hire in a private chef.
Nice.
And I bet all of it would be cheaper.
That's awesome.
And so we tried it. And I don't know that it was cheaper. It might have been break even or about the same, but the experience was way better. So we had a private chef. Everybody was in the house. They all, came the first day at 9 and the second morning at 8. It was amazing. Private chef cooked for everybody. It felt a lot more intimate than a hotel. It was weird because everybody's sitting around on couches and in chairs, and like
Totally
it had a
different vibe.
huge like grand room where
Right.
everybody was in this house. And we were talking about it after. We kind of need to change our content a little bit because we were doing content maybe that was more suited for the hotel where you're standing in front of the room and everybody's lined up like a classroom.
Right.
And this was more like communal.
Okay.
And so I think more interactive conversations, it felt like it fed to that. It was interesting.
Well, does that
felt
go
different.
to the principle of if you want to master a skill, teach it? So was it more where you guys were having kind of open dialogue and open conversation versus one person in front of the room leading?
Yeah, that's how it felt. Yeah,
Interesting. I know
felt more communal.
as a service advisor or a service manager put in that role, I think I would take a lot more out of it if it was, more interactive. I mean, let's face it, a lot of people daydream. I don't because I can't sit quiet with myself for a few minutes. I just have that gap I have to fill, so I'm always doing something. But there are people that, they can't stay focused. So if you're talking, they're multitasking, doing other things. Sounds like you're onto something there.
Yeah. No, I don't. So now I don't know how we do it because we want to have the next one in Dallas, but the houses in Dallas are kind of in the suburbs and they're not by hotels.
We could call Jerry Jones.
What would we call him?
Oh, yeah, we might be able to borrow his
Are you
stadium.
a Cowboys fan?
Am I a Cowboys fan?
America's team?
I'm not even going to answer that. I mean, I don't want to polarize half of the audience here, so we're trying to get viewership, right?
They don't care.
Yes, sure they do.
There's more Cowboy fans than probably anything.
True. What are we talking about today?
First of all, we need to talk about the comp from last month. I'm sorry, everybody, that this is so late. But to explain to anybody that's new to the program, or just remind you if you're not in our coaching group what this is we have software where the service advisors are benchmarked against each other in 5 or 6 categories depending on the group they're in. And then the managers are graded on their average advisor's performance in the comp. And then everybody in the comp has an alias. They have a nickname or an alter ego. And so every month we have winners in different categories. This means these are the best advisors in customer pay, labor, sales, total dollars, parts and labor, customer satisfaction, in selling wild cards, which wild cards to us are alignments and the maintenance items, and sometimes tires, things like that. It means that they are the best in effective labor rate. I'm trying to remember what the other categories are. Something like that. But they are the highest performers in those. Every category in the comp is weighted equally, and there's a ton of advisors in the comp, so this isn't an easy thing to win as an advisor or a manager. It's actually really, really hard and a big deal. So I would love to talk about last month's winners. So in the American comp, the top manager, Jeremy, was Bread and Butter.
Awesome.
Bread and Butter. Now what's funny is Bread and Butter was at the coaching meeting, and he is married to a manager in the comp. Just so happens,
Really?
she is running another store that's his competition.
Okay.
And it was fun because when she got there, I was like, "Wow, you let him win," and she was like, she was a little tweaked that he had beat her, which is kind of fun. But I guess maybe the comp could affect marriages.
Yeah, absolutely.
It could. Second place is Mauricio. Good job, Mauricio. Second place in the American comp. Now the advisors in the American comp, first place is Old Guy. Let's give Old Guy a hand.
Old guys rule.
Second place is Carlos Bows to Me.
Carlos Bows.
Third place, The Closer. Good job. Fourth place is Uncle Rich. Good job, Uncle Rich. And fifth place is Dingers 15. Good job, you guys. In the Japanese comp, the top place manager is Chief Grady. Good job, Chief Grady. And second place is Levi Johnson. Good job, Levi. And then the advisors for the Japanese comp, first place is Lucky Luciano. And second place is Boost Life 29.
That sounds like a drift car driver handle.
And then third place is Tone Loke, fourth place is Foster, and fifth place is Thorny. Good job, you guys. Top advisors in the Japanese comp. And then Highline comp, top manager, AKA the Monster in Illinois. Again, good job, Iraq, the Monster. Top advisors in the Highline comp is, wow, Mike. Good job, Mike. Mike is from Virginia, from Checkered Flag. Good job, man.
Awesome.
You beat Mo finally. And then second place is Rover Dog, and third place is Mo Money. Usually Mo wins that, so.
He got beat twice. Sorry, Mo.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to point that out, but.
Come on, Mo. What's going on? Mo. And then in Import Highline, top manager again is Monster. Good job, Monster. And then the top advisor, Amish Gangster. Good job, Mitchell. Second place, Pierogi Pusher. And third place, Big Mike. Good job, you guys. There's a lot of Illinois in that from different dealerships too, but crazy. It's crazy that this one dealership downtown has a lot of mafia influence in their nicknames. What do you think that's about? Mafia in Chicago.
Yep.
And then the Canada comp top manager is Maverick. Good job, Maverick. Maverick, an elite member in our elite group and always an assassin. First place advisor, Michelin Man. Good job, Michelin Man. And second place, Wolf Man. Good job, you guys. And then in Asian Zing, top manager is Jeff. Good job, Jeff.
Good job, Jeff.
Jeff's, I think, a new winner. Great job. And then first place advisor is Josh. Good job, Josh.
Right.
And then second place is P. Good job in the Asian Zing. So good job, all you guys.
Excellent job, guys.
Hard work, and we're super, super proud of you for doing that.
Absolutely.
And then the topic we had today was 5 easy ways for your service managers to build customer service skills. We have some thoughts on this, don't we?
We do. I love the 5 easy ways. Let's face it, service managers, and the revolution is all about making their life easier. Look, we don't want to spend all day long, putting effort into making this happen. So if it's easy, it sounds like a process we can possibly
Kind of a little
utilize.
Canadian twang
A
there.
little bit going on there, absolutely. Yeah, so let's talk.
Do they say process in North Dakota?
They kind of say process,
Process?
something like that, kind of
Process?
half and half, maybe. I don't think that works.
Your favorite one here is number 4, right?
No, it's not my favorite one.
Oh, why not?
They're all equally weighted. I love them all.
These aren't your kids, Jeremy. Come on.
Well, let's start with number 1.
Number 1, okay, so 5 easy ways for service managers to build customer service skills. This is how do you build a culture of customer service in your department, right? And so the first one is pet the dog. You got to teach everybody to pet the dog, from the cashiers to the advisors, even to the techs. And it's an easy thing to do. The Pet the Dog video is up on YouTube. You can watch it. It's free. Anybody can watch it. I have people from all kinds of industries tell me that they use that video with their employees to talk to them about how to really connect with people. And, that's where customer service starts, is by genuinely caring about the people that you're helping. I think a lot of times we think too much about selling customers and not understanding that the selling part in service is easy.
Right.
It's the connection that we have with the customer that's important. If we really have our customer's best interest at heart, they have to replace their brake pads. They have to maintain it, right?
Correct. Yes, they do.
So it isn't really selling. It's just being a friend and making sure that they come to us more than anything else. So understanding that connecting on a deeper level and really getting to know customers in the context of what they care about, not what we care about. That's the most important thing. So that's number 1.
What is, I think the other important part here is to create a business and a culture that is going to deliver that experience. And the biggest thing here is creating that trust, right?
Yeah.
And having
it's all about trust.
All the way from your top service advisor to even a newbie service advisor, all the way to the cashier, to make sure that they're petting the dog every step of the way and continuing that trust within the organization, so the service manager doesn't have to do as much work or worry about where the car is in the transaction. It's on autopilot. It happens.
And then number 2, it seems to be a theme with you.
Role play.
Role play.
I'm wearing a timing belt right now. What are you wearing?
Dirty Jeremy.
So here's what's interesting.
What does your wife think about all this role playing you do everywhere? Was your wife with you in Daytona?
No, she was not.
Was your wife with you at SEMA?
No, she was not.
So she didn't see the role play at SEMA?
No, but she
Did
just
you tell
knows,
her?
Well, no, she understands that the more
How
role
many
playing-
guys were going to strip clubs and doing all that at SEMA?
No, we don't do that.
No?
No, it's like you with adrenaline sports. It's a waste of your time. Strip clubs for me are a waste of my time, money. Just don't do it. I've been married 21 years. Plan to be
But
married
you'll role
another-
play with some weird guy with a podcast.
I will, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, and I have permission from my wife to role play because she understands the more that I role play, the better my skills get. So it's about skill building, right? Just saying, right?
So a couple role plays that maybe we could suggest. One is just having a morning shift meeting with your advisors and role playing, petting the dog. That
Oh, that's
those
a good
basic skills.
Well, and I think that's important for the service manager to really show and display what's important about petting the dog for the team. Because every single person is going to have their own personality and spin on it. But what is the drive and the main focus of the business in the dealership? That's where we want to go. And that's where you set the stage with the team meeting. That's great.
And then one game we like to play with the advisors is the smile game. So Mario came up with this, one of our coaches. And what we do is we watch the advisors with the customers, and if they can get the customer laughing and smiling at the car, we give them some sort of raffle ticket or $5, some sort of spiff. But they have to get the customer smiling and laughing at the car. And so we call it the smile game.
Excellent.
Before they sit them down or bring them in or whatever. And that's a fun couple hours, in the morning to do with the advisors because it kind of sets a tone where it's contagious. Like if other customers are there and they see other customers having fun, they see that the environment is fun and that people want to be there, It's contagious, right?
It is, absolutely.
Just as much as if people look miserable and they don't want to be there, that's contagious and it makes people uncomfortable and they can't wait to get out of there. So, role playing, that sort of thing. Also, role playing with anybody in customer service, anybody that's answering the phone. If you can record the phone calls and play them back, if you have that ability.
Yeah, and
didn't you play me a funny phone call once?
I did, yeah.
What was that funny
Tons of them.
phone call?
Customer calling for a price on an
It was
alternator.
obvious that nobody had been role playing.
Never, right. What's interesting right now is what you're talking about are when you're looking at building that trust and the circle of life within the customer circle.
Jeremy, if you're listening to this, Jeremy's drawing a circle on the desk.
Drawing a circle on the desk, everybody. So many people, when they hear the term role playing, they're going to go towards sales skills, like let's practice a sales objection, right? But what Chris is talking about, I hope you guys understand this, if you do enough of the right things and you build trust and you focus on helping the customer, your sales objections magically melt away. You don't have to deal with them, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, a lot of times, wouldn't you say that sales objections are the customer saying, I don't trust you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're the easiest way for a customer to get out of the conversation and leave.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to do business with you. Absolutely.
No, that's a good point. I totally agree. What other kind of role play can they do? You can role play with the technicians too.
You can. Tell me more about that. What would you role play with the technician?
Well, when we do instant inspection, we have the technicians inspect the cars with the customers there.
Right, okay.
If you have the technology where you're sending the customers videos, you can role play those videos with technicians where they're inspecting the cars on video. I think a lot of times we just take that all for granted, but how they look, how their stall looks, how messy it is, all that stuff matters. So playing some of those.
Yep, practice makes perfect there, absolutely. So yeah, listening back to phone calls, absolutely. What about making sure customers don't do the walk of shame?
Oh yeah, so the active delivery?
Active delivery,
role play
key, absolutely, yes. Role play. You should role play every aspect of the business there, even the after the sale follow-up, whatever you're doing there, whether it's a phone call or you're sending out text messages, make sure that everything is on point and that you're actually practicing it. Practice makes perfect.
That's good. So yeah, there's a lot of aspects to role play.
So, and the other thing too, the biggest return on investment a service manager is going to get on building customer service skills is going to be coaching and leading his team in the role playing. And if you need help with that, we've got a great product for that with our coaching programs.
Good point.
Absolutely. I thought you'd like that.
Number 3, I think that this one might be one of the most important. In fact, I was talking to somebody about this just a couple days ago. Because I think the key to good customer service starts with one thing, and that's stop wanting to be right.
That is huge.
A lot of times when a customer issue falls on our desk, it's because an advisor wanted to be right. They didn't want to win.
Regardless, whenever you have a customer issue, it doesn't matter if you are 100% right. If the customer perceives that something was not right, you've got to fix the customer. You've got to fix the relationship first, and you got to put the relationship first. So yeah, I agree. You can't. You have to stop putting a line here and alienating yourself from your customers, and wanting to be right all the time is not going to win.
No, so I had a conversation with the manager the other day, and it was like his average ticket was like $800, right? And customers were coming in on average every like 8 months, like a little less than twice a year, right?
Okay. Yep.
So you see a customer almost twice a year, every 14 months. So every 14 months, you're getting $1,600 from the customer.
Right.
And you want to be right about $100.
No.
No, right?
No.
But that was the conversation. I'm like, you never want to be right. Just let it go. Like, and also just think too about the time and the stress and all that. Like, one thing is if you're trying to be right with the customer and you're trying to convince them that you're right, first of all, at the end of the day, they're going to go away. They're not going to come back most of the time. Second of all, you're going to be super frustrated. And so the best thing to do is just not even try to be right. Just listen, apologize, and then fix it. That's it. There's no reason to be right whatsoever in any situation.
Absolutely. I had a situation this week with a customer on that, and she, instead of coming back to us, she took her car somewhere else. And then that other shop inevitably told her that we screwed up by not doing something. And totally not true. What they had claimed that we didn't do.
What did they claim you hadn't done?
We changed a power steering pump, and they claimed we didn't flush the system, which, I mean, it is what it is. It's, if you have an issue in the vehicle, and my concern was this: why didn't you give us a chance to make this right for you? Well, she had her reasons, but I felt myself bristle. And when that happens,
Yeah.
right? Like, and I could tell, I was like, okay, well, no, I'm right.
It gets personal.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I made a comment to her, and she goes, oh, so you're firing me as a customer. And you never want to hear that, right? I mean, all of us in the industry, we want to fire customers every single day, especially the bottom 20, right? Let's just fire everybody and get more of the top 20, right? But at the same time, there's fallout damage from that. If I had said, yes, I'm firing you, can't come to my shop ever again, what could she have done? If I don't satisfy her right there and make her feel that she was heard and understood and that we fixed the problem, where is she going to turn to voice her frustration with our shop? Online.
Yeah.
The worst place she could do is, go online
Yelp
and leave
Google
it. Yeah, I don't want a 1-star review out there. So I had to take my personal ego, set it aside, and be like, look, forget who's right, wrong, or indifferent. Let me help her and get this situation resolved. So I simply asked her, I said, what would you like to see happen here? And she said, I just want an apology that you guys didn't do the job right. Well, okay, if that's how you feel, I'm really sorry that you're in this situation, and that was enough for her. So just asking sometimes helps in not having to fix it, which so many men love to do, right? Fixing things. It's sometimes what we do, but not wanting to be right and just helping the customer out.
That's a big one.
Painful lessons we learn in business.
I think that one applies to a lot of things.
It does, absolutely.
The next one, and your favorite one?
Take off the seatbelt.
Take off the seatbelt.
And what do you mean by that?
I mean that if service managers want to build a culture of customer service skills, you got to get out of your office. You got to take off the seatbelt, get out of your chair, and go out and wander around. You got to pick up the phone and call some customers. You got to be out there, talk to the shuttle drivers. Whenever I come into a service department to fix it, it's odd how the cashiers and the shuttle drivers and the people on the front lines know more about what's going on. They know more about how we're disappointing customers than the manager does because they're on the front lines. You're not going to learn anything unless you get out there and get on the front lines and talk to some customers. Randomly walk up to customers and say, hey, how's it going? And when you eat like in a high-end restaurant,
right,
and the manager comes around and is like, how is everything? Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, do that. Be like a maitre d'. Like, walk around. Get a sense of how people are being taken care of, what the mood is. Listen to how your advisors are talking. Listen to how the phones are being answered. All of that stuff.
So what percentage of the day would you say that a service manager should take the seatbelt off and go out? Are there a couple different times during the day that you find you get the most impact for the time investment?
Whenever your peak time is, right? Rush hour.
So 9 a.m.
Because you can see if your systems are breaking down.
Absolutely. I think the mornings are key. Absolutely. And then also
a couple hours at least a day.
Well, you know what it's like, right? So when I was at
You know what it's like.
I had no idea we were going to get here you sing today.
What it's like.
This is a special day, everybody. This is awesome. You know, it's like 10 o'clock, you turn around to the competing, I shouldn't say competing, but your fellow advisors on the floor, and they're gone, right? So there's these patterns that advisors fall into as well, which is sometimes just they get their cars in and they're gone. They go do what they want to do. So taking the seatbelt off and seeing what your team is doing is absolutely key, for sure.
And then the last one, number 5, of the 5 easy ways for your service manager to build customer service skills, the culture, and the skills in your department is learn to hire.
Most of the highest paid CEOs on this planet spend over 80% of their time doing what?
Hiring.
Recruiting talent. If you hire the right people for the right position, they will be self-managed, they'll be self-driven, and they will get you the results that you want. If you have the wrong hire in that position, there isn't anything you can do to crack the whip or push them. Look, if you feel like you're having to push your team, you might have the wrong people. And one of the things I like to do in some of the classes that I teach is, especially when it comes to hiring and team management, is I ask somebody to write down the one person that they know doesn't fit on their team. And then what they don't know is the next question is, who do you need to fire on the team? And then the next question is, when would Monday be a good day to let that person go? So we just kind of set it up and we push people, outside of their comfort zone, because if you have a vacancy, you're gonna have to bring in somebody good. So I agree, learning to hire is key. And that's a skill, How have you learned to hire over your career?
Well, okay, so it depends on the position, right?
Right.
Because, if you're hiring for support, which would be like cashiers, shuttle drivers, porters, that sort of thing, most of the time the best way to hire them is in a group interview.
Okay.
And we show you how to do a group interview in depth on our training platform, but a group interview basically is where you have all of them show up at 10 o'clock in the morning, right? You have a sign-in sheet.
Okay.
You know who's late, who's on time. And then you bring them all into a conference room. And you're like, hey, we're doing a group interview. And then you have a couple questions that you would ask. My favorite questions in a group interview setting is I just start with an easy one. Like, what's the last thing you posted on Facebook?
Oh, okay.
Just because it's an icebreaker. And then the second question I like to ask, and granted, some of the people here at our company have other favorite questions from the list of questions that we give you. My favorite second question is who's your favorite boss you ever worked for and why?
Oh, nice.
Because I'm looking for people that say a boss that pushed me, not one that left me alone. So the and why kind of gives you an insight to somebody who likes to be pushed. But the thing about a group interview that you start to notice is you notice personalities. When you have 8, 10, 12 people in a room around a table, you see the people that clam up and aren't comfortable in a group setting, and then you just see the people that shine. And if you discipline yourself to only bring back for an actual interview the people that really, really shine, which is usually only 1 or 2. So the 1 or 2 that really, really shine in the interview, bring them back for a real interview, you'll start to get people that are, they're comfortable being in under pressure situations, they're comfortable with customers, that sort of thing, and they usually have a better personality. So for those positions, I try to hire for personality.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you're not going to make people happy.
Well, no, and one of the things you talked about in the role playing is the game of smiling, right? Getting your customer to laugh, getting your customer to smile. That's I shouldn't say it's a skill. That's an innate talent that people have, and it's really hard to train that. One of the hardest things to train, whether it's customer service skills or service advisors, is the ability to be likable and to build trust. And those people in those positions need to have that built in.
And a good question when you bring them back to interview them is, how have you used your sense of humor or personality to get out of a tough customer situation?
Nice.
Or to deal with an unhappy customer, or to solve a customer's problem, or something like that. And if they can't think of their go-to and their personality or whatever they can do to really, you know, lighten the moment, they might not be suited for that. But you got to get good at interviewing and asking questions that really give you an insight into their behaviors. You want specific examples of how they've dealt with difficult customer issues, how they've used their personality or their skill set to, you know, exceed a customer's expectations.
So these are 5 easy ways for your service manager to build customer service skills. Hiring the right team. So if you were working with a new client right now, one of the things, would you have them go through and analyze their current staff and then spend a certain percentage of their time finding the right people?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the one thing that we have there too is, so on the advisor side, we have the comp, right?
Right.
So you can see your bottom. If your bottom advisor's bottom out of 1,000 advisors,
right,
then that, you know, we teach the Jack Welch system where that 20% constantly has to, you know, be moved. And if you always move the bottom 20%, what you'll see after a couple years is your old top is the new bottom. So if everybody, you know, if the bottom was, the advisors were writing 50,000 in parts and labor sales, and the top was 100,000, now your bottom will be 100 and your top will be like 175, because it just moves up.
It's constantly moving and improving. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's talent. Like you got to look at it kind of like building a football, you know, sports team. Like you can't beat talent. The best advisors get followed by the best techs. The best techs know the best advisors. It all goes hand in hand. It's that rich get richer kind of a thing, right?
Absolutely. So learn to hire. That is key. Absolutely.
So just to recap, number 1 was pet the dog. Number 2 was role play, but not in the way that Jeremy role plays, like in a business type thing, not dressing up like a maid,
not wearing a tie, not
playing teacher, and
thanks for pointing that out. Absolutely.
Number 3 is stop wanting to be right and start wanting to win. Number 4 is take off the seatbelt, get out of your office, wander around, see what's going on, listen to some phone calls, listen to some conversations, randomly walk up to customers, scare the hell out of them and be like, how's it going today?
Nice.
And then number 5 is learn to hire. So that is the 5 easy ways for your service managers to build customer service skills. Pretty fun.
Absolutely.
That was good stuff. So anything in closing? We have online training.
We do have online training. We're working on a big project right now.
Jeremy just recorded like 50. How many videos, Kosh? 55 videos or something? 45? I thought he just did 45 in one day.
That was in a 2-day period.
In a 2-day period.
Yeah, we shot.
So that's advisor training for independent shops coming out. Then we're going to do shop owner training. What are we going to call the shop owner one? $1 shop?
Millionaire shop owner.
Millionaire shop owner.
Yes, absolutely.
Is coming also.
It's interesting. The feedback I've gotten from Advisor Fix and my little piece of the world there. There's a big demand for online training. I've gotten more since the first episode. I've gotten more pings on, what do we have for on demand, and I think a lot of it in the independent world is. I'm just going to say a number, 50% of the advisors that are in an independent repair shop, the owner or the manager is not sure they want to keep the advisor or if they're a good fit. And so then they turn to training, right, to see if the person will make the leap. But the challenge with a lot of things that are out there is it's the price barrier to send somebody across the country to go into a class. They don't really want to invest that money. So I think there's a big demand for on-demand training, and with the technology, with the things that we have here, it's definitely engaging. And
the independent guys in our regular coaching, we're going to move over to your thing, and they're excited. I was talking to a couple of them last week in Miami, and
awesome.
That's going to be fun because our stuff is more dealer based, so it's going to be specific to them.
Yeah, and it crosses over. And one of the guys, Tom Ham, he has a shop up in Michigan, but he lives in Florida, so he's an absentee owner. He's done a fabulous job with his shop.
People are stealing from him.
No, they're not.
You can't watch a shop from Florida.
He's got cameras everywhere.
That doesn't do anything. You're going to watch in real time everything?
However, the point to my story was, I'm not trying to be right. I'm just...
What's his name?
Tom Ham.
Tom, they're stealing from you.
No, they're not. Anyways, I did about a year worth of work with his advisor, Greg, and then he did some other training as well. And it works really well. And I think the online training, there's a huge demand for it. People want it. And, we need to
your online training is great. Like, great. Like, I learned stuff from it too. Like, no, it's really good.
The revolution's beginning.
Yeah. No, it is. We're making some good content. It's fun.
Absolutely.
We're having some fun. It's fun feeding off of you too.
What's that? It's the emptiness in my soul. That's what you're feeling. We're bringing you over to the
That
dark.
really bothered you, didn't it?
Well, no, it didn't, because I know my soul.
Do you want to talk about it?
I don't.
No, come on, tell us. What?
No, it's like,
when
do
did
you
you?
have a
When
couch?
did you first start feeling the emptiness?
Well,
At
so
what age did
here's-
you feel the emptiness?
Well, it depends on your.
And then where in your body was it
It-
when you felt it?
It depends on your beliefs of, whether it's past life regression or multiple lives or how long your soul's been around. But I'm a very old soul. I've been, in this universe, and I've had many lives. So as far as
No, let's just talk about this life. Let's
this
not
one
deflect.
here. This one
Let's
now.
not deflect. When
You like
was
how I tried to
when was the
deflect that?
first time you felt the emptiness?
Probably when I woke up at 4 and I was on the street with
How old were you?
4 years old.
4 years old?
Yeah.
And so since you were 4, you've been carrying around the sack of potatoes on your back
I have
of
not.
an emptiness that you can't fill. Where did you feel it when you were 4? Do you remember what part of your body? Can you feel the sensation now?
It's right in the center, right?
Right
here.
in your that's
Right there.
oh, that's deep.
Yes.
That's in your heart, your lungs, everything.
It's all there.
So you were 4.
Yeah.
What happened when you were 4? Do you want to put your feet up?
No, I don't.
Do you want a pillow?
I'm good.
What happened when you were 4?
Honestly, I don't know. I just chose that number out of
Oh,
thin
you were
air.
making it up?
Yes.
Oh, I was serious.
Well,
I'm
no,
trying to fix
I don't
you.
have an emptiness in my soul. It's fine. People are different, right? The true adrenaline junkies who like jump off of buildings, they don't have a link to the fear. Their brain does not pick up fear. It doesn't recognize fear at all. And that's more of a biological thing than a psychological thing.
Yeah, so I don't know. You think it's fear?
Yeah. They've done-
See, for me, I don't
done brain
believe
scan
I don't
studies
believe
on
that
that.
it's fear. For me, I believe that it's rational. Does the risk outweigh the benefit?
Well, that's because you're very smart and you're calculating.
Okay, but I don't think it's fear.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you go outside up to that 100-story building, throw a parachute on a base jump?
No,
Okay.
for nothing. What is the benefit?
Well, right. So there's that's risk versus
The
reward. for you,
benefit
right?
of the experience isn't enough.
But now let's talk about fear, though. When you're standing at the top of that building and you're looking over, what does your body feel?
I have a parachute on.
Yes.
Well, if I fell, I have a parachute. That's what I
Okay.
would feel. I'm just doing the math.
Okay. So
If I didn't have
are
a
you afraid
parachute,
of heights at all?
I would get back.
I think we could try this. We could do another service driver evolution.
Have you ever seen those YouTube kids that like
Yeah.
fall off the Grand Canyon and all that, trying to get selfies and
Yeah.
videos and
with
stuff?
no parachute on?
And if any of those, what do they call those guys that do the
wingsuit guys?
Yeah, the wingsuits. What is that called?
I think it's called wingsuiting.
How many of those dudes have died? Almost all of them.
Yes.
And so, what's the experience of that is worth dying? Please explain to me how that 2 minutes in the air is worth dying. You gotta get up early in the morning, hike up a mountain, pack all that stuff,
Yes.
and then you jump and you die.
But there's a certain percentage of people on the planet that would never do that because they recognize fear and they're like, no, I'm not going to do that. So a lot of the extreme athletes don't have the recognition of fear. They just don't feel it in their body. And it's just, you may have part of that because if you don't have a fear of heights, you don't get that tingling sensation. I do. When I'm up high, I'm like, oh, I'm back in. Even if I had a parachute, I still feel the fear very, very much. So, and that's different though than what we were talking about earlier, which is my soul, right? And the emptiness in my soul. Alleged, or I don't know if I'd call it alleged, but
No, but doesn't you don't think that somebody who is doing something that risky just for the experience isn't trying to compensate for something somewhere else? There's an out of balance somewhere.
I don't think there's an out of balance. I think to some people, there's living your life to its fullest, and whether it's playing soccer or playing football or baseball or organized sports or extreme, doing an extreme sport, there are some people that look at life and say, I'm not going to take a corporate job. I'm not going to live a boring life. I'm going to live every day to its fullest and go out and do things. And that's just part of what they do. And there's a part of my personality that is that way. Like one of my best days ever in my life, I remember, was a Tuesday morning. It was about 10 o'clock in the morning. I had my dog with me, and I was racing Speedway motorcycles at the time. And I went out to San Jacinto to my uncle's practice track, and I ripped off a couple laps, and I was sitting in there having a ice cold drink. And this is back in the night.
Drink?
No, ice cold.
Like a beer?
No, like a energy drink. But this is before Red Bull came out. Like this is like in '93. It was like a long time ago. Yeah, cup of ice water. There we go. How's that? And I looked around. I'm like, everybody else is working except for me, and I'm doing something that I want to do. And so that's part of it, is that drive to do things that are extraordinary. And I'm so happy I have a trust fund to fund those things for me.
And if you don't get that joke, his trust fund is his customer database.
Absolutely.
His rich uncle.
Yes.
Is that what you meant?
That is what I meant.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that people listening get both of our points, but I think that you could be extreme in sports that aren't dangerous versus things that could cost you your life are a little bit different.
I can agree with that.
Right?
Yes.
So, especially now that you have kids, you need to be responsible, Jeremy.
Well, Chris, I am responsible. Why do you think I wear the proper attire when I do this stuff, right? You know, you got to have the proper...
Is that your dirt bike?
This
helmet?
is my mountain biking helmet.
So everybody that is listening and not watching, Jeremy is putting on a Seattle Seahawks uniform. Or his dirt bike uniform.
Now we're ready, right?
Troy Lee.
We're ready to go. So
Is that a Troy Lee helmet or a Fox helmet?
This is a Fox helmet, yeah.
And it's bright pink and fluorescent green.
Yeah, you can see a picture on the website, right? But now we're ready to go. So you take the proper precautions, and then at the end, there's nothing better than high-fiving at the end of a run. And you had a good run. That's it.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yes.
And we will see you again next time on Service Drive Revolution.